So I have Server Manager running here on my local Windows 8 client, and I've added two remote servers. They're actually both Hyper-V boxes. But right now, I want to go and look at the file and storage services and storage pools. And you can see currently I have that primordial storage space, which consists of the 3 physical drives that are currently not linked to any volume. So if I look at Disk Manager, I can currently see those 3 drives. They're online, but they're unallocated. So they're just available. So I'm actually going to go and fire up the new storage pool. I can give it a name. So I'm just going to call it stuff. Where it's going to take drives from. So that primordial pool. I select disks I want to be in here. So the allocation, I can use them for the data store. Or I can configure it so it would always be used as a hot spare. But I'm just going to make them all available for the data store, rather than reserve a disk just for the hot spare. Remember, as long as there's enough disks in the pool, it will take care of repairing any resiliency if a disk is lost automatically anyway. And what I'm going to see is once this is finished, it will actually remove those drives from Disk Manager, and now they will only be available as part of that storage pool. So actually while it's running, if I jump back, you can see they've actually disappeared already. And if I look at the Git physical disks now, I can now see they're part of a pool. And if I do a git storage pool, I can see my primordial there, and now I see my stuff, that storage pool I just created. So I can see my storage pool and I've got nothing used. So my next task is to actually go ahead and create a space within there. So it's showing me the disks that are part of this pool. And I could add additional drives if I had any spare disks, which is one of the key points. I can add storage to this. And the reason that's so important is when I launch the new virtual disk wizard, I select the pool that I want to create this storage space in, this virtual disk, and I'm just going to call it data 1. Now I can select what I want. Do I just want a simple disk so the data is just striped? Do I want mirroring? So you would previously have thought of this as like grade 1. Or do I want parity? So again, you would have previously thought of this as like a grade 5. So I'll just say mirror. I can use a fixed space. The fixed space is going to allocate all of that space configured straight away, which is what we kind of think of traditionally. But I can do fin provisioning. So with fin provisioning, there's 1.4 terabytes available, but I'm going to create a 20 terabyte drive. And it's going to let me do that because it's using fin provisioning. And as long as I stay ahead of the actual usage of that, I can just add disks. So it's going to tell me of the amount of disk in the storage pool. And obviously there's space used up for parity and data duplication because of the mirroring, etc. It's going to tell me as it's approaching certain thresholds. So then I can just add disks to that storage pool to always stay ahead of what's being used. So now I have a virtual disk. If I wanted to, I would then actually go and create a volume on that. So you've got that 20 terabyte disk. I would just carry on going through all of that. So it's telling me that's a mirrored 20 terabyte. I could go and create another one. This time I think I'll create a parity. And I'll use thin again, another 20 terabytes. So you can see I have a mirrored and one parity using that fin provisioning. And you see the percentage used because nothing's been written to it yet. But then as I actually went and create volumes on those new disks, I can actually go and create a new volume on either one of those. And as I wrote data to it, it would start to fill up. And it will actually alert me to say, hey, you're coming within a threshold. And then I would just add new disks. So I can always stay ahead of what's currently actually in use. If I actually now jump back to that disk manager again, I now see my 20 terabyte volumes. So that's a really quick overview of storage spaces.